Hey everyone, welcome to the Gootz cast for the 4th of June. And we are here with our Wednesday night post show. I know Wednesday was yesterday. I don't give a fuck. I'm here with Andrew Lee. Andrew, how are you?
The days all blend together these days, so don't worry. You have nothing to worry about.
I know. So last night was NXT AEW. Once again, for the second week in a row, I liked NXT. What about you, buddy?
Did you say for a second week in a row you like NXT better than AEW?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you on this one.
Oh, this is going to be racist. All right, let's
Yeah,
go.
NXT was a ho-hum show at borderlines bad, in my opinion. And
Really?
yeah,
Well,
we're
I
gonna
didn't
have
like a
fun
lot
discussing.
about the show, but there are a few key matches I liked. In the AEW show, I liked a few things, but most of it was kind of like, I don't give a shit.
NXT was great last week. Unfortunately, this week did not live up to it. And we're gonna start right away. You got your main three guys again: Tom Phillips, Morrow, and Beth Phoenix bringing you. We go straight into a match, which I did like. It was Candice LeRae versus Mia Yim, a match that I would rather have not seen first. But they've been building up to this. This is a bullshit nothing happening match because it's like 5 minutes in, and then they go to a bullshit double count out, which turns into, they fight all the way up to the Tron, and then it's a count out, and then Tegan Knox comes out to help, then Dakota Kai comes out, and Gonzalez comes out, and the Shotzi Blackheart comes out, kind of the melee, kind of to set up what's going to happen at TakeOver. You got Keith Lee and Gargano comes out. It turns into a match number 2, which is Gargano and the Garganos versus Keith Lee and Mia Yim. Gargano's playing the sneaky heel, the cowardly heel, going like he's not in his gear. He doesn't want to wrestle. He ends up hitting Keith Lee. Keith Lee hits him up in like a powerbomb, right? And then Gargano hits him with car keys. He drops, and he's laying there with his car keys held up, and the ref still doesn't see it. Supposedly, the ref's not being distracted by this. By the way, he's not distracted at all. Ref doesn't see it. Mia Yim gets rolled up. Gargano's win. I hated both matches. I just didn't like it for me. This was a shitty
Yeah,
opener.
I hated the whole opening. I do not like
Yeah.
Gargano as a heel. I don't like this feud with Keith Lee. They need to abandon ship. They need to have Keith Lee defeat him and move the fuck on because it's not doing anyone any favors.
I get what this was supposed to do. It's supposed to really set up 2 matches for TakeOver, but me personally, I had none of this in opener made me give me any desire to watch the matches in TakeOver. So I thought it was a shitty opener. Then you get Mackenzie. She's in the back with Dexter Loomis, and she asks him about Adam Cole and Velveteen Dream, and doesn't say anything. He goes away, comes back with like a canvas and some markers, and then you get an Eli Drake promo outside. He's getting interviewed, and he's all over the place. Anything about these things so far?
I liked Dexter Loomis. That was nice.
I mean, they go to commercial break, and he comes back, and he drew a caricature of the Undisputed Era and him driving in the car. Here's the thing. Dexter Loomis, this character, Sam Shaw, he was doing this character before he got into NXT. This is what got him noticed, and he brought it over. If you watch, there's a NWA like pop-up show, I think it's on YouTube now, where he has this character, and basically what he used to do is he used to bring the canvas to the ring, and then he would just draw gibberish, like actually paint like gibberish, and I like that better than this fucking phony caricatures that he's drawing. It's too goofy. The character just too
I know.
goofy.
I still like the character. There's something about him I like.
Character's good though. Character's good. This week, by the way, they're doing the prime targets, which are like like they're kind of like spotlight.
It's weird how they highlighted how they hyped up they were doing recaps. Like that's a fucking event.
Yeah, they were doing Adam Cole, he gets picked up in a limo by Undisputed Era. Kyle's got a nice new beard. They go to a restaurant. They're in a limo, and they're going to restaurants like Feshka's, and they're ordering food while Velveteen Dream is rollerblading.
How are they getting food in this climate? I just love how they just live in this fantasy world.
Yeah, where there's a restaurant that serves them. Yeah, it was interesting. Velveteen Dream looks into a mirror, and out comes Prince in the mirror, and he says, He's gonna win. Did you like this Prime Target thing featuring Adam Cole and Velveteen Dream?
No.
Yeah, this is. I get what they're trying to do, but it didn't give me a desire to watch their final fight.
I kind of feel like I'm kind of over these two in a feud. If Velveteen Dream is supposed to go to Raw or SmackDown, just send him there. I want to see Adam Cole fight someone else. I'm also tired of him as the champ. I think he needs to evolve.
Yeah, and did you hear about Adam Cole? His contract might be coming up like soon.
Yeah, I think he's gonna stay.
You think so? Money?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably. There is a good chance he will stay.
And like you bring when the crowds come back in the fall, if they do come back, you have so many people like buy Undisputed Era merchandise. You can have him come out. You can have the Undisputed Era move to Raw or SmackDown and be the heels on that show, and they will move so much merch. It would make no sense to lose him at this point.
Yeah.
They got to job him out in the main roster first. So then they can cut him loose.
That's true. We'll see what happens. What do you call it? By the way, Adam Cole, Velveteen Dream, they are fighting in a backlot brawl, right? That's what it is. Okay, at TakeOver on Sunday. We get match number 2, is it? Technically? No, this is technically match number 3, really.
Technically.
It is Tony Nese versus Swerve Scott, which is kind of like the feud from a couple of weeks ago. What do you call it? This is actually pretty good. There was a point, it was all right. It wasn't that good because the ending was just too quick. Swerve gets up on the second ropes and he's about to hit something when Jack Gallagher comes out, distracts him, and Tony Nese gets him in a reverse pile driver, and Swerve still manages to slip out and go for the cover, and he wins. Mm-hmm. It just made Tony Nese look like an idiot because even with the distraction, he still can't put him away. I mean, stupid. I didn't like it. Like this?
No, I hated it. I didn't like it at all.
So already this show is terrible. It's not that good.
Well, it's still better than AEW. I'll explain why.
No way, man. All right. Then we get Oney Lorcan, Danny Burch, and Undisputed Era, which is Bobby Fish and Roderick Strong. They're warming up. They're getting ready to have a match next, which is the 4th match, which is Oney Lorcan's Danny Burch versus Roderick Strong and Bobby Fish, and also a third unannounced team. Winner of this becomes number 1 contenders for Imperium. It ends up, you see, the third team comes out. They're a bunch of astronauts. It is Brezango. Fandango is back, and they're dressed up like astronauts. Everybody in this match is wearing black trunks. So if you don't know who any of these guys are, it's going to be very confusing. Everybody's wearing black trunks. There was this one cool moment where Danny Burch launched Fandango all the way to the outside of the ring where everybody was. It ends with Dexter Loomis comes out. He's standing behind the plexiglass, distracts Bobby Fish, who gets hit with a beauty shot, and then the last dance leg drop. So Fandango is number 1 contenders against Imperium, who comes out, and then the Desi AOP, the Indian AOP, show up too. So they all have a stare down. This kind of just signifies that their tag team division is stacked. This match I did like. I did like the after stuff match too. After the match stuff too. What'd you think?
This I liked a lot. This is one of the reasons why I liked it. I like the fact seeing Fandango again, Brezango. I like the fact that they won. They set up a lot of different storylines. This was like a really great segment. This made up for all the shit that we had just seen.
What do you think Dexter Loomis's deal is with Undisputed Era?
I think he's going to be the one who breaks them up.
But what's the deal? Why is he so into them?
I think he likes
Bobby Fish.
No, the other guy. What's his name? Kyle? Not Kyle. What's his name? Roderick Strong.
Roderick Strong.
I think it's a Gold Dust type deal.
Oh, okay. Well, I like it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like it. I just try to figure it out. I did like seeing, like everybody's back. Pretty much everybody's back. Like they had Fandango's there. What do you call it? The Indian AOP. They're back. This is a stacked tag team division. Even if you lost Undisputed Era, you have Oney Lorcan, Danny Burch. You have the Desi AOP. You have I guess Fandango, and you could probably put another tag team in there somehow. I'll tell you one thing. You know how you don't like Butcher and Blade because you said they're kind of going nowhere. They're a tag team that goes nowhere. That's Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch in NXT.
Well, they looked like they were going somewhere the last 2 weeks, and then Danny Burch lost. Who did he lose to? He lost to Chubby Wubby. Who did he
Tahuti
lose?
Miles, Booty Tahuti, yeah.
Uh,
No, but
what do they call him? Chubby Wubby. I don't know.
even if
These stupid fucking names I give these
yeah.
guys. Now Brezango out of nowhere, but I like Brezango, so I like Fandango, and I like their new entrance. So
I'm glad he's back. I would me personally, I would break up Frezango because I think both guys, I think that ship has sailed. They need to do something else.
But the only thing they'll do is they'll go back to losing to everybody.
I know, but I would just change up gimmicks. They both need a gimmick change. Danny Burch and Oni Lorcan, I like them, even though I know they'll never amount to anything. It doesn't matter. They're always solid. That's how I feel. This was a good match. I like this match. Then we get something that happened last week. They get Chelsea Green getting interviewed with Robert Stone. She fires Robert Stone. Makes no sense, but she did. And then she's going to
Raw or SmackDown.
Supposedly, yeah, but she fired him for a dumb reason. But then we go to match number 5. It's Aaliyah versus Santana Garrett. And I remember when she came out, I was like, please don't let Santana Garrett lose to Aaliyah. Robert Stone comes out and he's like all disheveled looking because he just got fired, and Aaliyah's his like last hope. I did not. Morrow mentioned this. I did not know Santana Garrett was a second generation wrestler. I looked her dad up. Her dad was TNT, like Kenny G or something like that, which is very interesting. But anyway, guess what? Santana Garrett wins. She won with a handspring, moonsault, and a back press. She won. This was not really that good of a match because Aaliyah's just like, but Santana won. I think they're getting behind her. They should, but they really should. They really should get behind her. You like this?
Yeah, I like this. I like seeing Santana Garrett win. I like the other chick, whatever her name is. It was great.
Is Santana Garrett a lesbian?
No, why?
Oh, she was wearing a rainbow cape.
Oh, she always wore that shit. Also, it's Pride Month. Women can celebrate Pride and everything's cool.
Oh, I don't like it when she's wearing a whole bunch of colors like that. I like her when a couple of weeks ago she was wearing just a gimmick with she was wearing a gear with just like two or three colors just like matching. I like that. I don't like the fucking bullshit Bailey bullshit,
fuck that Bailey bullshit.
It's too many colors. It hurts my eyes.
All right, well, I'll tell her. I'll let her know.
Yeah. Then we get another prime target. We get about Io Shirai, Rhea Ripley, and Charlotte. This one I did like.
Why?
Well, I don't know. It just Io Shirai, they show her like underwater somehow, and they're translating what she's saying. Then you see Rhea Ripley. She's drinking a chocolate shake in the morning, and she's talking about how 2019 was such a great year, and then 2020 has been all downhill. I'm like, yeah, for all of us, Rhea, all of us, it's been a shitty year. But I don't know. I think these three are actually going to have a really good match at TakeOver. So, you didn't like this?
No, because I'm sick of Charlotte. I'm just sick of anything that has anything to do with her. I'm just sick. I hope she loses this fucking belt.
You think she's gonna win or lose?
I hope she fucking loses. I can't. I'm so sick. I'm so sick of every fucking time I do this stupid thing. I'm surprised she doesn't just show up on Impact and fart in Jordan Grace's face or something at this point. I'm just so fucking sick of Charlotte on every fucking show. I used to like her. I used to be a huge Charlotte fan until we started doing this. I'm trapped in my house. Everybody's pretending COVID's not real. They're rioting in the streets and protesting, whatever. And I'm trapped here every fucking night looking at Charlotte Flair's stupid face cutting the same fucking promo for 3 months now.
She's literally everywhere. If they just held her back a little bit, not put her on so many things, it would be way better. But
even Stone Cold Steve Austin was not on 3 2-hour shows a week.
Yeah.
And even Hulk Hogan wasn't either. I've never seen someone.
They need to tone it down. It's just too much. Yeah.
I mean, she's got to be fucking somebody besides Andrade, because why the fuck do I have to look at her this much? Ric Flair.
Did you see that thing on Andrade? I think he's been being featured on CMLL Twitter and shit like that, giving interviews.
Mm-hmm. I don't think he would leave though.
What?
I don't think he would leave.
I know
He's
it's
fucking
weird
the most over person in the company. Why would he leave?
Yeah.
I can't take any more Charlotte doing these reviews. I can't.
All right. So then we go to match number 6, technically 5, but 6.
Mm-hmm.
Cameron Grimes versus Bronson Reed, who's returning. By the way, these guys, they had a match last year during the Breakout tournament. Do you remember the Breakout tournament?
No, I wasn't really watching back then.
Oh, okay.
I heard about it, but I didn't really watch it.
Yeah, it was like
Cameron Grimes won it, right?
Cameron Grimes won against Bronson Reed. The guy who won was Jordan Miles, who flipped out over the T-shirt and quit.
Oh, so he won and then did the T-shirt bullshit?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck him.
He won and a T-shirt bullshit happened. But what do you call it? Cameron Grimes. Wait, did he win? I'm pretty sure he won. Yeah. Cameron Grimes beat Bronson Reed in the tournament, and the same thing happened here. He beat Bronson with the cave-in. This was actually not as good as their breakout match, but it was still a decent match. As soon as the match is over, Karrion Kross, comes in and Saito suplexes Bronson Reed. Bronson's a really big fat dude, but like athletic fat, and he did it, so it was kind of impressive. I was all right. I liked it. It was okay.
I hate Cameron Grimes. I hated this.
Why do you not like Cameron Grimes?
I don't like him. He looks like a fucking doofus.
Oh, I like him.
I don't like his matches.
He's got the grimy look. I like that grimy.
He stinks. Get him off my TV.
You know, everybody's got to look different. I like it. I like having a promotion.
I hate different. Everyone should look the same. This is disgusting. I just don't like Cameron Grimes. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And then we go to our 7th and final match. We got Fantasma, El Hijo del Fantasma versus Drake Maverick for the finals for no longer the interim Cruiserweight champion, but for the Cruiserweight championship. So something has changed. Typical WWE, they don't explain anything about why it's changed, but it's changed. We get this match they go hardcore. I love the way Drake sells. There's a cool moment where he gets hit with a sit-out powerbomb on the outside. He takes it like a champ. What ends up happening is you get the Lucha Dark Order shows up. Those 2 luchadors come out. What do you call it? El Hijo del Fantasma. He's sitting on the floor. These 2, the Dark Order comes out. Drake Maverick comes out, attacks both of them, beats him away, sends him away. He rolls back into the ring, and he gets hit with like a super kick, and then he gets hit with the Phantom Driver, which is basically your Samoan driver. And boom, Fantasma is now the Cruiserweight champion. You know, everyone's clapping for Drake. Drake looks to the cameras, thanking everybody. He goes up to the ramp, and Triple H comes out, shakes his hand, and then gives him an NXT contract to sign. So he is now we forgot to talk about this, but last time we interviewed Impact, we reviewed Impact, we talked about this video package that they showed all the talent being released. We can scratch Drake Maverick's name off that list because he is now an NXT talent. What did you think about this match and now the Impact thing?
The Impact thing is very interesting. I can't believe we forgot to talk about that. And we almost forgot about it today, too. But Impact cut a thing where they're saying that one of the people who was cut is coming to Slammiversary, which I'm excited about.
Wait, talk about this match first. Let's talk about this match
first.
Okay.
I love this match, and I love the closing angles. Now, people on the internet are pissed off, and they're not happy with this match, including Lilo Rush. Where do you side on it before I go on my rant?
I'm sorry, did you say where do I side with this?
Where do you side? Did you like it or did you not like it?
At first, I was a little annoyed. Because I was like, because you know why? This is why. Actual people were fired.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people were fired, and they turned it into an angle. So I was a little annoyed by that. But at the same time, I was like, well, at least Drake Maverick, at least he got a job, you know. And the angle was interesting, but I think it's in bad taste. I just thought it was in bad taste.
I don't agree it's in bad taste. And I'll tell you why. Because it got the guy over. The guy wasn't over before this started. The guy was just they hired him. They didn't even hire him as a wrestler. They hired him. He's been kind of a goofball his entire career. He was Rockstar Spud. They tried to make him serious in TNA, and it went like got over like a wet fart.
They turned him into a heel. Yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah, it was bad. It's always this is finally for the first time this guy is not seen as a goof. So while it may have been in bad taste, they got the fucking guy over. What would have been better? They don't fire this fucking guy and he loses all his matches and he just goes back to wrestling random. I mean, he might still go back to wrestling random matches on 205 Live, but now fans are invested in him. He got promo time. He was able to take it to the next level as a performer, and now I take him seriously. Now I believe in this guy as an athlete. They got this fucking idiot over.
Well, here's the thing. When that happened, when Drake got fired, well, along with everybody else, you know, he put up a video on Twitter where he was crying, he was pouring his heart out, and
I think that video saved him. I think that's what
if that was so. Here's what I'm thinking. Like, it could be one of two things. Number one, he really was fired, and through his ring work and through his just putting in the work, they did end up giving him a contract during one of these 3 matches, right? Mm-hmm. Or 2, this was a work the whole fucking time, and that video where he's crying and stuff was all pre-planned. Now
I heard it was legit. That's what Meltzer said.
Legit what?
That they actually did give him a release. What I think what they were going to do is they were going to have him. They didn't want to.
Hold on. So they did fire him, and then as he was wrestling these past few weeks, they were like, "Hey, let's give him a contract again."
I think that's what happened. Yeah.
Okay, because there's no way that was the first time he got the contract when.
I don't think it was. It wasn't on the ramp.
He just signed it. That
was pre-planned. That was pre-planned.
So
what I think happened.
He knew he was hired before he got that contract at the end of the show. So you're telling me is that he legit was fired, and that video he made was legit, where he's crying, and then somewhere along the past few weeks, they offered him a contract again, right?
Yeah. But my thing with the internet, with the people on Twitter, is that like nobody was complaining about this angle as it was happening, and all of a sudden people are mad. What would you like? He got rehired. Like they didn't imagine if like at the end of the show he just left, and then they put on the website, "Good luck to Drake Maverick and fucking Impact."
I'm not.
It's like
if you are somebody who's getting mad about it, then come on, you gotta relax. It's entertainment.
Yeah, but also
I think it's in bad taste, but I'm not mad about it. I'm like,
but even let's say they don't do anything with him, and then they wind up firing him. I don't know, in December. I guarantee you now he has a better chance going to AEW and being a player than he did before this. I think it was good for him. And I get like Lilo Rush is upset. Personally, I wouldn't have, if this release was legit the entire time, I would not have had him wrestle a single match. I would just had him leave, and I would have put like Tahuti Miles in the tournament.
I think Leo Rush has. Okay, if you're talking about fans like us being mad, that's a different story. But it's someone like Leo Rush being upset about this, I totally do get.
I get it because
he was one of the guys fired during a time where it's gonna be really hard to find a job anyway.
Yeah.
I do get, and I think that's part of the reason why I'm saying this is in bad taste. You can't say it's not in bad taste.
But it got the guy over. It got the guy over.
We're not asking you whether or not it got over or not. I'm asking you a straight yes or no question.
Well, what would you have done? Would you rather the guy just lose 3 straight matches and get thrown out? What would you have done? What would you have done with this guy?
I asked you one question, a yes or no question. You just got to answer that question. Is this in bad taste?
No, I don't think it was in bad taste because the guy got his job back.
Okay,
no.
So that's all I need to know. That's all I need to know.
I don't think it's in bad taste. What would you have done? What would you have liked to have done to this guy so Lilo Rush is happy? Would you like to just fire him?
No, when you fired him, that's it. You stop using him.
Okay, so then he wouldn't have gotten over. And his career is in the toilet, and the guy has no future. That's in better taste to let this guy not prove himself.
I think this was in bad taste because real people actually got fired at the same time.
So next time, you know what? Even though I might be, you know what? I don't know if I should have fired. You know what though? Let me just fucking ruin this guy's career because I don't want Lilo Rush's feelings to get fucking hurt. Fuck Lilo Rush. Fuck everyone. You got fired because you all suck. All right? This guy. I also thought this guy sucked. He proved me wrong. I don't give a fuck about Eric Rowan losing his job. Who gives a shit? Maybe you should have been more interesting. Go.
I'm going to disagree with you hard on this. I think that's. I think. Everybody who got fired was hired.
Here's the thing. I agree with you firing anybody.
Let me finish what I'm saying. Everybody who got fired were hired from the beginning. Were hired for a reason to begin with. They're all talented. I am gonna 100% disagree with you saying that they're not talented. They should have done their jobs better. No, they they all did their jobs. They're all really good, but it was dude, the company is the ones who failed them. They shackled them and would not let them do what they're supposed to do. Now,
listen.
so no, let me finish. So
Okay.
I would 100% disagree with you on that. Now, this is totally in bad taste. It's like doing the fucking Sergeant Slaughter versus Hulk Hogan thing during the fucking Desert Storm. It's fucking in bad taste, dude. It's in bad taste. I'm not saying that they should. I'm gonna riot.
I don't think it's in bad taste. They got the guy over. They got the guy over. The guy can now draw money.
I
don't think it's in bad taste. Sorry.
I will agree they got the guy over, but I just wasn't.
Okay, next time let's have it be so nobody's offended. Let's do everything by the. Let's just let this guy get fired and fucking let him collect unemployment and not get over. You know what? You know what, Austin? Great. I'm not gonna hire you in ECW because that's gonna take TV time away from Sandman. That's not fair. So you just sit at home and work at fucking Staples because they gave the guy a fucking opportunity.
We should do a poll and find out. First,
because all these fucking nerds are going to agree with the Meltzers.
Why are you getting so worked up about this? I don't understand why you're so worked up.
Because I think you guys would have been so happy this guy just got fired and that's it. That's in good taste. That's fine.
No, I wasn't happy. Dude.
I will agree with this. Can I make my point? Mm-hmm. It wasn't bad taste to fire anybody during the pandemic. I agree with that. Yeah. But they gave this guy a sliver of an opportunity, and this guy could have mailed it in. And he could have, maybe they probably would have been like, well, this guy's not even trying. He could have mailed it in, and then they could have just fucking let him lose all his matches straight and then let him go. He could have. But they gave this guy a sliver of an opportunity, and he took advantage of it.
I think if you took someone like, I'll even say maybe like Leo Rush. You take someone like Leo Rush, and if you had him in this tournament while he was fired, I guarantee you he would have also put in the same amount of work.
He would have, but he wasn't in this guy.
Yeah, so
this guy seized the moment.
But that's why it's not fair to say like fuck those guys. I don't care about their jobs. They should have been better jobs because no, it's dude. It's not their fault. They were never given.
I understand that, but this guy was able to seize an opportunity and make it work.
Yeah, and that was all
good
Drake's
for him.
Doing. That's all Drake's doing.
Hey, you know what, Drake? Even though you're really impressing us and we regret firing you, it would be in bad taste to give your job back on TV and make this an angle. So we're just gonna lose the next two matches, and we're gonna have Jake Atlas.
When we first started talking about this, the first thing I said was, "I'm glad he got a job back, but this was in bad taste." That's the first thing I said. Dude.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't think it was in bad taste because they got him over.
Well,
the guy wasn't over, and I thought he sucked. Now I think he could be I think he could do something with his career. So listen.
Thank God for that.
It's by hook or by crook. You got to get over. Okay. Look, I mean, nobody knows who we are in fucking comedy. If something fucked up happened, we got an opportunity to make it work. We're gonna take advantage of the opportunity. Sorry if it's fucked up to other people. Yeah. I gotta make a name for myself. This is my dream.
This is
Sorry that Eric Rowan and Jordan. What the fuck is his name? The guy.
Jordan Grace.
No, Lilo Rush. Sorry they weren't in this fucking tournament, and Triple H didn't want to change the advertising. Mm-hmm. Sorry, but he was, and he seized the day. And now something might happen to him. Now, look, I'll change my mind. If he's getting squashed by Braun Strowman on Raw in a year from now in 2-second squashes, I'll be like, yeah, you know what? That was a waste of fucking time. But right now, the sky's the limit for this kid.
Yeah. So let's move on to the next thing we're talking about, the Impact thing that we forgot to talk about last time.
All right.
So, I'll briefly explain what happened. You see a video of a guy sitting on a couch. You see the back of his head. You don't see who he is. He's watching TV, and the TV basically is giving a breaking news about how over 20 wrestlers were fired. Mm-hmm. And then they show you really quick pictures of some of them from old Impact footage. So you're going to see people like EC3, Drake Maverick, Eric Young, the Bennetts now, I guess you would call it, Maria and Mike Bennett. Mm-hmm. They even showed Brian Myers, formerly known as Kurt Hawkins. And I didn't realize it, but they also showed the Bulgarian flag because Rusev never worked there. Yeah. And it was all speculation. And they said, you got to tune in to basically Slammiversary, which is
middle of July.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, that's all going to be explained. And there's lots of theories on did they sign one of them? Did they sign all of them? Well, obviously now Drake Maverick is not one of them signed. You and me, we said they're just using their old stock footage of the wrestlers they have, and we thought most likely it was going to be Drake Maverick and EC3 signed.
No, I said Eric Young.
Oh, you said Eric Young. Okay, I could see Eric Young. Yeah,
Eric Young is such a TNA guy. I was shocked when he left. We'll see.
Did they not fucking use him in WWE?
We'll see what happens. It'll be an interesting road to Slammiversary.
I would love it if they signed all of them. That would be.
I mean, if they could get Rusev before.
Yeah. Before AEW.
Dude, Rusev should come in. You know what? I would just immediately put the title on Rusev. Just squash fucking Tessa. Just give it to Rusev.
How cool would it be if they all came in at once? Like all of them.
That'd be cool. But I don't think Impact has those pockets, especially with what's going on. I mean,
because you know what you could do? You could do like almost like an NWA angle.
Yeah.
You know, because
I don't think they have the pockets for all those guys. It's going to be like only like 2, I think.
No, but they're owned by a big company.
Yeah, but they're not making any money. It's a pandemic.
They're owned by the same company that owns a television channel.
Okay, WWE. Okay, that no one's watching that television channel. So
Access TV.
Yeah.
I guess not anymore, but
yeah. I mean, if Vince isn't hiring anybody, you think Impact's going to hire like 20 guys?
That'd be so super awesome if they did.
Yeah.
Tony Khan is a billionaire. He could
he's not
hire
hiring people.
I know, but he could. He's a billionaire. He totally could. But anyway, I just think it would be really cool if he hired just everybody all at once.
That'd be cool. It'd be fun to watch.
Fucking awesome. Yeah.
And it would make Impact a lot better.
It would legit just be like a takeover.
They already hired Deanna Petraza.
Yeah. But anyway, going back to NXT, you liked this NXT?
I liked those 2 matches, which the stuff I didn't like, but I liked those 2 matches, which is why I liked it better than AEW. So let's get into AEW.
The 3-way tag match and the last match. Okay. All right, let's go. NXT wasn't like a bad show, but I thought it's better than Raw 100%, but I thought Dynamite this week was super, super fun. It was I had so much fun watching the show. Right, started off with a Black Lives Matter video.
Mm-hmm.
And then they give a recap of everything that's been happening. And then they show the audience, all the wrestlers who are on the ring. And they even have Britt Baker in a Rolls Royce, but Rose spelled like she's a role model.
Mm-hmm.
And we go right straight into our first match, which is Kip Sabian and Jimmy Havoc, their tag team that's on fire right now versus Kenny Omega and Hangman Page for the tag team titles. Man, this match was so much fun. There was a point where Penelope Ford tries to hit fucking diving her Karana onto Hangman, but she gets caught and she's hanging like in a dancing move. The referee sees it, she kicks him out. While she's kicking her out, fucking Jimmy Havoc comes in with a wrench, hits him with a wrench. You saw that? And then later on, he comes out with a hacksaw. He's just coming out with these weird tools and shit. They basically hit the last call on Jimmy Havoc, which is basically the V-trigger and the buckshot lariat. The Kenny Omega and Hangman Page win. I would have preferred to see the grimy British guys win, but this was a very fun match. I loved how this was the opening for the show. Way better than the opening from fucking NXT. This was fucking great. You can't tell me you didn't like this. This is great.
I liked it, but I didn't like the fact that Hangman Page and Kenny Omega won. So I didn't like the fact that they won.
Yeah.
That annoyed me, and then I checked out.
Yeah, they've got to have opponents for Fighter Fest.
I'm just tired of Kenny Omega. Even like when they were doing the pre-match intros, everybody looked like a superstar except Kenny Omega. He wasn't looking at the camera. He had his head down, and it's like,
who do you think would be their opponents for Fighter Fest? They're gonna have to have tag team opponents.
I think the FTR.
You think so? Right off the bat, like that? Possibly.
I don't think these guys should be tag team champions anymore. You're just dragging this out too long.
Yeah. I personally would have preferred if, like, right after this match, if they had lost and right after they started fighting, and then we get a Kenny Omega versus Hangman Page at Fighter Fest. But I still like this. This is a great opening. I really hope the grimy British guys continue to get pushes because I like
Yeah,
those guys.
they're great. Yeah, no, I like this, but I'm like, once they won, I'm like,
Yeah. Then the next thing we get Tully Blanchard just bitching out Sean Spears, just yelling at him, which is great. I loved it. Then they see him in a limo, and Tully gives him a fingerless glove that he puts on, signaling there could be something happening with Sean Spears. I like this because we've been saying Sean Spears needs to change. He needs something. We don't really exactly know what it is. It's kind of ridiculous as a glove, but we don't know what it really means. So, but I like that. I like that they're signaling because they're acknowledging he sucks, and they're saying he needs to change. I like that. You didn't like Tully just yelling at him, just bitching him out?
I do, but I just wish that Tully would be like, I'm done with you and get somebody else. I don't know why they keep trying with this guy. Because, you get my point?
Yeah, but when he was yelling at him, it felt like we were yelling at him. You know, I was like picturing myself as the one yelling at him. I liked it, dude. You know what? You know why Dynamite was so much better this week was because they pushed so many stories. You know, everybody got a little something, and then we got match number 2: Brian Cage versus Captain Sean Dean, who's been seen on AEW Dark. Just a squash match. He hits him with a buckle bomb. It's not banned in AEW. A buckle bomb and then a drill claw. And then afterwards, Taz is cutting a promo on Jon Moxley. I was like, oh, you were on commentary last week and you're laughing and giggling like it's kind of joke. And he calls him something. I think he calls him like a shithead or something like that. Then Jon Moxley comes out walking through the ring, out of somewhere, and then he just cuts a promo on them. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm actually looking forward to this fight now.
Yeah, it'll be a good match. Yeah,
I think Brian Cage, like, physically is more dominant than Jon Moxley. I'm very interested to see what happens here. Lance Archer is getting they're outside. Alex Marvez comes up to him and he's just beating up some guy. And then Jake Roberts apologizes for him just being rude, beating up people. And then we get Matt Hardy, the original Hardy Boys, Matt Hardy, with Private Party. And he says he's going to try to, like, mentor these guys. And they're going to call it the Hardy Party. And then they're at a bar. They're like, it's kind of bar area inside the stadium.
Dally's area.
And then as Matt Hardy's leaving the bar, he runs into Sami Callihan, who's got like a broken foot, and he's on that really weird scootery thing. And Matt Hardy's just like, hey, we're cool now. And I liked it. It was funny. I like that they didn't drop that whole thing, that you get to see Sami.
I like the Matt Hardy, Sammy Guerrero interaction. That was cool.
Yeah. What do you think? You know what the thing is this too? Private Party needed something. They need something. They got no storylines, and this is finally giving them something. So even though it's a weird and it was a little awkward, I'm glad it's something. It could lead something. Lance Archer, he lost a TNT match, and he needs to go into something. So they're showing that he's pissed off, like more pissed than before. So I like that they were all. It's all little seeds. It's all little seeds that this is the thing that WWE fails to do. They just fail to do shit like this. Then you get a recap of what happened with Tyson and Jericho, and then the aftermath when Jericho was being held back. He blamed Colt Cabana in the back. He said, if it wasn't for you, Colt Cabana holding me back, I could have knocked him out. So that's what leads to our match number 3, Colt Cabana versus Chris Jericho. When Jericho comes out, Sammy Guevara's up on the by the Tron, and he's singing, really bad singing, by the way. They showed Ali and QT in the audience about to make out while Sammy's singing. What do you call it? Colt Cabana hits a moonsault to the outside. He's bleeding from the mouth. Jericho, this is one great moment where Jericho gets knocked down and he puts his legs up, and Colt sees this to try to hit that Superman cover, and it was all a ploy for Jericho to catch him in a Walls of Jericho, which I thought was really cool. Jericho wins by hitting the Judas Effect, back elbow, and then he calls out Tyson, but then Orange Cassidy comes out instead. He evades getting attacked, and the best friends take Orange Cassidy escape from the inner circle. I like this. Did you like this match?
I loved the singing by Sammy Guevara. I thought that was hilarious.
It's
That
fucking
had me on the floor.
yeah. It was really bad singing, but it's so bad it's funny.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was great. I'll tell you. Yeah, the match was fine. I really like the fact that they're setting up Orange Cassidy and Jericho. I
Yeah,
think that could be amazing.
yeah.
I'm glad.
So,
I really hope they don't go back to Tyson. You know, AEW, just a jump ahead, AEW lost viewers from the week before.
well, I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
AEW's ratings, they still won, but they lost viewers and NXT gained viewers. I think people were turned
Yes.
off by that Tyson thing.
So NXT, AEW lost viewers this week as compared to last week, but they still had more than NXT.
But it was closer this time.
Yeah.
I think people got turned off by the Mike Tyson thing because it's such a rehash and Jericho's so old at this point, and it just looked like sour grapes.
I don't want to watch Jericho versus Tyson, and here's a couple of things that I feel about it. Jericho is not in the best shape right now. He has a pretty big gut, and if you're going to be doing this thing with Tyson, you have to be in better shape because that thing with Tyson is for the mainstream audience. It's not for casuals like us. It's to get more people, eyes on you. If you're gonna do that, where they don't know who Chris Jericho is, they don't know what he's capable of. They don't know what he's capable of, like you and I. They're gonna look at this and say, "Who's this fat, out of shape guy fighting Mike Tyson?" They're gonna be turned off.
He looks like his best days are behind him. What is he?
Yeah, he needs to be in the tip-top shape if you're gonna do this Tyson thing. If you're not, I don't fucking care. Next thing is he needs to come up with a different finisher, because he hit 3 back elbows in this match. Did you know that? And it's like every time he hit one, I was like, "Is that the Judas effect?" I was like, "Is that the Judas effect?" I'm like, there's no setup for it either. He just hits it out of nowhere. So when Chris Jericho hits like a back elbow out of nowhere, you think it's his finisher. It's like, if you want to keep that as your finisher because it's easy on your body, then stop doing the back elbows until it's your finisher time. You know, those are my only complaints.
I feel like he's a little cocky now because he's really he's a good worker than he's a better worker than most people in their 20s and 30s. Yeah. But he's still kind of like off a little bit, and he's still old, and he looks. I get the character. The character's supposed to be like this parody of a rocker that's like over the hill. But like, I do not want to see him fight Mike Tyson ever. They need to drop that so fucking fast.
Yeah, I don't want to watch that. Like if I was running this company, that match would not be happening. It just wouldn't be happening. Yeah. I don't think today's ratings. I mean, the ratings prove that didn't really do anything. So
yeah.
Then we get a fun match, but still a fun match. Britt Baker, we get a recovery video where she is taking her recovery process very like not in the best way. She's doing all the light stuff. You get Reba, I think now, formerly Rebel, trying to help her. Then you get Tony Schiavone coming out, trying to cheer her on as she tries to like wheel herself up the ramp. I thought this was really funny. I thought they shot it very well too.
I thought it was great. Yeah.
Yeah, isn't it great? It's really
it was funny. I still think she should be a manager though.
AEW does comedy way better than NXT.
Well, yeah, better than NXT, yes. But I like Otis. Otis is funnier than anyone.
No, but I thought this was funnier. This was not cheesy at all.
No, it was good. I liked it. They hated you.
Then we go to match number 4, Big Swole versus Nyla Rose. Did you see Big Swole's yellow Power Ranger gear?
Oh, the way you did, I thought it was like, did you see Big Swole's big titties? The way you did your hand motion.
Yeah. Well, because she had the logo, the Power Rangers.
Yeah, it was good.
It was nice. Mm-hmm. She got cool gear. Good back and forth. Nyla Rose. I really thought Big Swole was going to win this. That's how close it was. It was back and forth. Mm-hmm. Nyla Rose, though, hits the sit-out spine buster for the win. Afterwards, even though Big Swole lost, they're interviewing her down by the floor, and then fucking Britt Baker, she's on this cart, like she pushes up, trying to like talk shit to Swole. Swole tries to hit her, and then Britt runs away. I like this. The match was good, and they're actually still giving something to Big Swole, even though she lost. You know, so she's not like they're gonna try to build her. They need to. They need more women to be in the spotlight. So I like this.
I like the fact that she got so much.
Yeah.
Big swole. I still hate Nyla Smelly Rose. I think she should be shot out of a cannon, but whatever.
What don't you like about her? I don't understand what they hate.
I just don't think she's a good wrestler. I think she has
She's
nothing.
not. She's not. She's not like the best wrestler, but to say she's not improving would be a lie because she's had.
I think she's a word. I know Nia Jax injures people. I think she's like a shittier Nia Jax, but nobody calls her on it because she's in AEW.
No, Nyla Rose hasn't injured people.
I know. Nia Jax injures people, so more people give her shit. I think Nyla Rose is actually a worse worker than Nia Jax, but nobody says that
No, I
because
disagree.
I like Nia Jax's matches way better than Nyla Rose. Sorry. I think she's shittier than Nia
That's
Jax.
because she's got better dance partners. That's because she got better dance partners. And she still ends up.
The fucking internet acts like Nia Jax is the worst wrestler to ever exist. And meanwhile, this
dude, didn't you watch Dynamite a couple of weeks ago?
That match was horrible.
Nia Jax is the one who injured Britt Baker. I don't know if you saw it. She came out of nowhere.
Nyla Rose. Nia Jax. And Nia Jax burst in.
Yeah, she burst in.
Sat on fucking Britt Baker.
Yeah. So I don't know what you're talking about. Then you get a Darby interview. Tony Schiavone's interviewing Darby about like, hey, you know, how do you feel about Taz and all this stuff? Because Darby's injured. I don't know what Darby says. It's just typical Darby stuff. And then Tony Schiavone interviews FTR, which is formerly the Revival, asking what FTR stands for. Right now it says for the Revolution or something like that. And then while they're getting interviewed, they mention all the tag teams they want to face except for the Young Bucks. And then Butcher and Blade come out because they're annoyed. And these guys are going to have a match next week, I believe. And then Alex Marvez is interviewing Colt Cabana. Colt Cabana is complaining about how he can't ever win the big one. And then Brody Lee comes out, gives him a water, and you know his Dark Order give him a water bottle, and you know like, hey, you know, hang in there, all that crap. And then you know Colt's thinking about it. What did you think about all three of these? Darby thing. Start with that. How did you think about the Darby thing?
Whatever. I really liked the FTR shit. That was great.
You really liked it, right?
Yeah, that was good.
That was good. Did you like? I liked how it ended, where Butcher and Blade came out and they want to fight these guys.
That was good too.
Cash Wheeler, like they're, you know, FTR doesn't. They don't look like they want to fight. They're like, hey man, come on, relax. And then Cash Wheeler drinks a water bottle and then just fucking chucks it in one of their faces. I thought that was fucking great. And then, did you like this Colt Cabana Brody Lee thing?
No.
See, I like it, and I'll tell you why. Brody Lee lost at the last pay-per-view, right?
Mm-hmm.
You need to give him something to move along. You know what WWE would be doing? They would be Brody Lee versus Jon Moxley again. They would just continue it over and over and over again.
I just think they need to get Brody Lee out of the Dark Order. I really do.
Well, I'm looking to see what he's gonna do with Colt Cabana. I'm actually interested in this.
He's gonna have sex with him.
And then we get to our fifth and final match, which is Cody Rhodes versus Jungle Boy for the TNT Championship. And there's a point where Cody has Jungle Boy on the outside, and he fucking headbutts Cody headbutts Jungle Boy and then tries to headbutt him again. Jungle Boy moves out of the way and he headbutts the wall. Jungle Boy starts getting to
Jungle Boy. What'd you say?
Jungle Boy. Jungle My Boy.
Jungle My Boy.
Jungle My Boy gets into an argument with MJF, who's in the audience, and then we come back to Cody, and Cody's bleeding everywhere. They go up top they fight some more. They go up top rope. They both fall through a table on the outside. They come back in. Cody hits a crossroads and he wins. Then afterwards, Jurassic Express and Brandy come on. They all celebrate. This was fine. It wasn't as exciting of a last match as NXT's. I'm sick and tired of Cody always getting busted open.
Can I tell you something? When I was watching this match, you know who Cody reminds me of? And it's so funny. When he wrestles, his matches are Triple H. He has the same fucking matches as Triple H.
Yeah, I'm sick and tired of seeing him bleed. I'll tell you that.
He's got a formula he doesn't move from, and he's very boring.
Mm-hmm. This was not the most fun way to end. This
was a good way to like just dismiss this fucking kid, but I don't know if they're gonna make him into a star. They gotta have him win some shit instead of being like Jim Ross being like, "Well, he came close." Names for counts. Like,
Yeah. This was, I mean, it was what it was. Overall, though, it wasn't, it's still, I would not say it's a bad match. It was still fun. Overall, AEW Dynamite was just more solid. There was just not
nope.
that many, what were the bad stuff? I couldn't pinpoint
Just everything was just average to meh. Everything, I mean, I really liked the FTR thing, but everything else was like that main event went too long. It did nothing for, what's his name?
The first match was exciting. I really liked the first
that was
match.
good, but
Yeah.
I liked the three-way match better. There was more going on.
The three-way match better?
Yeah. I like three-way match better. Sorry.
Maybe. NXT had more bullshit, stupid things happening in it. That opening 2 matches was like,
oh yeah, well Johnny Gargano's ruining the show at this point.
Piles of garbage where you have a double count out and like somebody at least when Jimmy Havoc hit somebody with the fucking wrench, the ref wasn't looking. Johnny Gargano's holding up car keys. Like he's literally laying on his back and he's holding up car keys because they need to make sure the camera's on it. But you also see that the referee's just standing in the ring. Just you tell me you don't see fucking guy who you're supposed to be paying attention
to. No, that was a horrible segment. I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing with you.
Terrible. That alone, you drop a full grade just because of those 2 matches alone.
No.
And then
I mean, I hated it, but I really liked the other 2 matches. So I just AEW, nothing grabbed me. Nothing was like, yeah.
I disagree. I thought AEW was a far more spirited show. It was way more fun. That's
because you hate black people, just like Tony Khan.
I mean, yeah. There you go. Linda Hogan.
Linda Hogan is banned. You know what? Somebody had a funny comment on the Squarespace Reddit. Like, that's like me banning Beyonce from my house. And somebody wrote, I just spoke to Beyonce and she's very upset. It's like Linda Hogan's banned. Like, what does that mean? Like,
yeah.
Like,
Tony Khan, don't let his demeanor fool you guys. You can tell that guy's got a fucking ego. You can feel it, dude. You can see it in his fucking you can hear it in his interviews. He's got a fucking ego. He's a mark who wanted to be in the wrestling business so fucking bad, and he's in it now. But he hasn't even been in it for that long, maybe like a year now. But his ego is so big. He's already like he's already the spokesperson for the fucking industry, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's like an elder statesman for wrestling now. He can just, that's what he pictures himself as. That's why he'll say shit
I am so surprised they do like the most transparent bullshit. It would be like me saying like, hey, listen, guys, I just want you to know that when comedy returns and when I do Monday Night Gootz, Donald Trump is never allowed. No matter what, Donald Trump cannot, like, he's not going to fucking show up. He does the bare minimum, Tony Khan and AEW to be progressive, and people think like they're this kind-hearted company. It's so insane to me that they've been able to fool everyone.
You can tell how big someone's ego is by how fast they lose their humility. You know,
yeah. They lose it pretty fast over there.
Khan lost it pretty quickly. Yeah. Remember when he first started? When this whole thing first started, he was like, just like like really humble dude. Hardly on Twitter and all. Now he's just so fucking all over the place. Banning people left and right, giving his input on every fucking thing that's happening in wrestling.
By the way, if Hulk Hogan had like Chris Benoit's reputation, there'd be no ban. This guy is a Wrestling Observer reader. He grew up on what Meltzer told him to like. By the way, Tony Khan. Yeah. If Chris Benoit was the one who said that in his bedroom, there'd be no fucking ban on Chris Benoit. This guy is a Dave Meltzer jerk off mark. That's what he is. So
the only difference between Junior and Tony Khan is that Tony Khan doesn't have daddy issues. That's a difference.
Yeah, because his daddy pays for him.
Well, and Junior, as daddy touched him or some shit like that.
Well, no, his daddy didn't give a shit about him. So
yeah, didn't give a shit about him. Yeah,
his daddy made him be the fucking announcer. You didn't trust him to do anything.
So Tony Khan will be, like, in a way, a better human being, but
no, he's not. He's not a better human being.
I mean, he's gonna.
He'll pretend to be a better human being.
Yeah, he'll be a better than Junior, but at the end of the day, he does not give a shit about you.
He reads the room. So like all weekend, people are screaming Black Lives Matter. So he's gonna make a video starting to show Black Lives Matter. He's not gonna be like Vince, be like, I don't give a shit. I'm not saying that. But he's never doing anything to help black people. Besides that video, that to him is enough, and everybody's like, "Well, they had a video that said Black Lives Matter. He must really like black people." That's enough. He does the bare minimum to make you think he cares, but he's smart enough to do that because he's got the whole internet fooled. He likes Dave Meltzer, and he wrote Black Lives Matter, so clearly he's not a racist. All right.
Yeah, I agree. But I will admit, I do want his company to succeed.
Well, if they keep ignoring COVID, everyone's ignoring COVID at this point.
Everybody is at this point, dude.
Dude, just
it's gonna be you and me still alive doing this podcast.
Recaps of like NXT UK is going to be the only show left on the air.
Yeah.
But by the time everybody fucking
for
dies,
people in their
I don't even know. It is such a weird fucking. It's weird. I don't want to get into it. We'll get into it tomorrow on SmackDown. All right, so that's the review. So we'll see you tomorrow for SmackDown.
See you. Good night.